Thank you and good evening, everyone. It's now 7:35. My name is Gail Grandison, and I am the chair of the Youth and Education Committee. I want to welcome each and every one of you, and I just want to go around the screen and ask you to please introduce yourself, board member, committee member, or if you're just visiting us, or you would like to become a member. Miss Graham. Miss Graham, are you there? Can you introduce yourself? Okay. Um, Next I'm seeing Janique Williams. Am I pronouncing it right? Correct? Hello? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay. I'm sorry. I am suffering with allergies, so I have some little cough and fix that time. Is it Janique Williams? Can you please introduce yourself if you can hear me?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Janique Williams. I'm a committee board member 17 member. And also I was on the other youth meeting. I think it was maybe September, I believe, or before. And I am a healthcare worker, a mother of 4, and a resident of the community for 42 years.
Oh, wow.
And I'm here to be part of it and use my voice to help the youth because they need a lot of direction and I guess different positive outlets.
And I thank you for being here. Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Williams.
you.
Michael Leo. Michael?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Good evening, everybody. Michael Liao. I'm also a Community Board 17 member, member of the community, father of 3, and I'm an educator and a consultant in New York and the surrounding area. So glad to be here.
Oh, thank you for being here. Thank you. Ms. McCain Brown.
Good evening, everyone. Monica McCain Brown, committee member.
Welcome, welcome. Ryan, please correct me if I get this wrong, Ryan. Please correct me. Oh, you took it down, so now I can't even see it. So, Ryan, introduce yourself, please.
Oh, that's okay. Thanks. Hi, I'm Ryan Kawahara. I'm with Kings County Tennis League, and I'm first time here, and I'm excited to talk with you all today.
Yes, thank you. Karahara. Okay. Karahara.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right. Miss Walls, please introduce yourself.
Hi, member of this community by way of Crown Heights, whoop, whoop, for 20 years. Educator, and founded an organization in 1989 to support youth in their development, personal development, and helping them make decisions, whether it be college bound and or a trade, someone who is an expert in a trade. So good to be here.
Great to have you here, Miss Walls. Ayana G.
Good evening, everyone. Ayana here. I am a committee member.
All right. Right. Angelita McDonald. Angelita.
I'm trying to unmute. Okay, there we go. Hi, everyone. Yes, so I am was on the board in the early 2000s. Just moved back to Brooklyn. I moved away. Um,
Miss Cologne, could you mute yourself for a minute, please? Thank you. Go ahead, Miss McDonald.
Thank you. Yeah, so I moved and I came back recently to Brooklyn, and so always had my house here anyway, but I just moved away. And so coming back in, I would like to come back and just be more active on the community boards. I was on the youth and education. I was on the public safety, all the good stuff. And so literally was with Miss Fraser before she became the president. So just coming back in and just want to get back in the community, just to help out in any way I can, just to get reactive.
Sure. Oh, great, great. So make sure that you go online and fill out the committee form so we can get you back before anyone else, snatches you up. But
Okay.
glad you're back in Brooklyn and in the community again. Miss Cologne, how are you? Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Valencia Colon. I'm a member of the community. Member of my community council as well. I'm interested in lending a helping hand or, interacting with the youth in our community or working on some projects together. So, glad to be here.
Thank you, thank you. Miss Cologne, were you a member of this committee before?
Yes,
Or
I've been a member for, it seems like there's some confusion, I don't know, but I've been on the committee list and I've attended some of the meetings. So,
Yeah, so no, I just because there've been some changes, especially because I that's why I ask.
yeah.
I'm looking at the list because the lists do change from year to year, and it all depends on how active folks are in the committees and stuff like that. So, all right, let's get you back on there for sure. I'm adding you to my list so that I can get Miss Farah. I think I have to meet with her to look through our updated lists and see what we have. But I'm gonna add you back in here. Okay, Miss Duncan, please introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. Tasha Duncan, committee member.
Thank you, Mr. Daly. I was just thinking about you. I was like, oh, he didn't join my meeting. Introduce yourself, please.
You're wrong. I did join your meeting. By the way, Miss Duncan, Miss Duncan, and I believe Miss Cologne. I think you're also board members. I just wanted to confirm. I know Miss Duncan definitely is.
Miss Duncan
Miss
is
Cologne,
board
I believe.
member.
I think Miss Cologne, are you a board member as well?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. That's what's throwing me off.
Okay. All right. So also, just when you introduce yourself, make sure that you also put that you're a board member too as well, Miss Duncan, not just a committee member. All right.
Copy.
So for the record, we know when we take in attendance to ensure that you get your full participation on the board.
Thank you.
All right. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Roderick Daly. I'm the chair of Community Board 17 and a long-standing member of the Youth and Education Committee. So thank you, Chair Grandison.
Thank you, Mr. Daly. Thank you. Let's see. I see a number ending in 38. Excuse me.
Good evening.
Good evening. Please identify yourself.
Sure. My name is Tasania Calderon.
Are you
I'm
a
new.
guest? You're new. Okay.
Yes, I'm new. I received the invitation link. The previous meeting, I had a schedule conflict, so this is my first meeting that I'm attending.
Okay, give me your name again, the last name.
Sure. The last name is C as in cat, A, L as in Larry, D as in dog, E as in elephant, R as in Robert, O as in octopus, N as in Nancy. It's
Calderon.
actually hyphenated. It's Cebro Calderon.
It's what's the first one? I'm sorry.
S like Sam, E like elephant, B like boy, R like Robert, O like octopus. Cebro
Oh,
Calderon.
Calderon. Okay, great, great. Thank you. Thank you for being here with
Thank you
us this
too.
evening.
Thank you.
Let's see. We got Janique. I think, did I miss anyone? The screen can be so tricky.
Yeah. Yes, this is George Tate, coming in a
Mr.
little late.
Tate.
How the issues how the issues logging in?
Oh, okay. Please just introduce yourself.
George Tate, committee member.
Thank you, Mr. Tate. And I see Miss Mickles, please.
Yes, I am Yuli Mickle, committee member.
Thank you. Did I miss anyone?
Yes, Samantha Lawrence, member.
Samantha. Okay, there you are. Sorry, Samantha. I can't tell you guys enough how much I am so anti-WebEx. So against it. Okay, is there anyone else? Excuse me. Okay. So, we're going to move on, but before we do, Mr. Tate, I want to offer you my deepest condolences to you and your family on the passing of your brother. Sorry I couldn't be there on Saturday, to share that moment with you and your family, but from my family to yours, my deepest condolences.
Thank you. It's highly appreciated. Okay.
You're so welcome. Okay, I'm going to move into the chairperson's report. I don't have much to report out tonight. And this is where I'm going to ask the chair if there's any other information that I'm missing to please share with us. So I'm going to start with the people's money. Well, no, before I start that, sorry, had some notes here. Before I start that, I want to give the biggest shout out and thank you to Ayanna. For all those who attended the fair in October, the 18th, was anyone there? Excuse me. And if you passed through briefly or you were there or what, thank you for coming out. It was a really great event. But Ayanna, I want to thank you. And, she took charge. We had a table there and stuff. And Miss Ayanna took charge of that table. She was so great with, the parents and the kids who came up. She spoke to them, she engaged with them. I can't say enough or do enough to say thank you for that day and what you did. And I am totally appreciative and grateful. So thank you so much. Is she there? Are you there, Ayanna? Ooh, I said all that. Oh my goodness. Ayanna?
It will be in the minutes.
Yeah, it will be. I said
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I had to step away for a second. Can you repeat that?
No, you want me to repeat my whole thing?
Sorry, I'm actually away on the West Coast with the job, and I wanted to hop on tonight, and I'm with some attorneys really, really quickly, so I apologize.
Okay. So I was giving you your kudos and shout out to you for being at the board fair. Not the board, yes, the board fair on Utica. and how much I appreciated the way that you engage with the parents and the community and the kids, and speaking to them, letting them know what the Youth and Education Committee was about and trying to entice them to join, and also about Community Board 17. So I thank you. I appreciate everything that you did that day, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, awesome. You are so welcome. And thank you for your leadership, and helping me and guiding me and, just doing what it is for the community. It's about the people and the excitement. And what I did loved it. And it was like, that many people didn't even know CB17 existed, let alone a youth and education department. So,
Exactly.
informing is also good. But again, thank you so much, Chair Anderson. I appreciate it. And I look forward to some more.
Yes, yes. We have that the essay writing thing to do. So I'm going to, after the holidays, hit you up, and I'll mention it later. Well, let me talk about it now. One of the things that we're planning for next year is a essay writing competition, and I am doing it in partnership with the author Kevin, and I'm asking anyone who would like to be a part of that planning committee, please let me know. I'm going to start planning at the beginning of December, because I'm going to let everyone enjoy the Thanksgiving with their families. I'm looking forward to that, although I'll be gone. But if you're interested, or we're going to start the planning process, because I would like to do it for the spring, to have it all done, and do something a little fancy dancy for the kids and stuff like that. So please join us. When you get the invite, I will send it out to the entire committee. Just let me know if you are willing to be part of that, okay? Because we will need readers and people to score and have to come up with topics, a lot of different things, and planning. So please, 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 let me know if you're interested. Okay. So I'm going to move on to next in my report is the people's money. So tomorrow, I think it is tomorrow. Yes, the 13th. You're invited to share your ideas for how to spend the people's money in Brooklyn. The people's money is a citywide participatory budgeting process run by the New York City Civic Engagement Commission. And this is separate from the ones that council members do in their district. And it is taking place at Brooklyn Borough Hall, 209 Geralman Street, tomorrow from 6 to 7:30. What it is, I will share, or I will ask Miss Farah to share this email, because she sent it to me, if I'm correct. Yes. Ms. Farah, please share this email with the rest of the committee members. And if you are not on our list, just please drop your email if you want to be informed about what this is about. And I think that we all should get in on this, because the workshop will teach you to understand how the city budget works, talk about what your neighborhood needs, and share and develop ideas to strengthen your neighborhood and communities. Okay. So I think it's something that everyone should get involved with, bring your ideas out there. You never know which one might actually get funded. And, this is all based on the funding. Some examples of Brooklyn project that have received funding. There was the mental health awareness workshop for the Sunset Park community, which was provided by Raising Health Partners. There was another program, the Community Helpers programs by the Kings Bay Y. And what it does is match trained volunteers with older adults and people with disability to assist with errands, grocery shopping, just helping them out in general, or there was a financial literacy class, which was provided by peer educators at the Brownsville Community Justice Center. So if there is a program or something in the community that you would love to see funded or expanded, please, please, please take part in this process. And as I said, Miss Farah will send out that information. Okay. Next on my list, let's see. Tomorrow again, and we meet, when I get these things, they come in like a few days before we meet. So I'm not trying to rush anyone, but this information, it's a New York City Region Virtual Career Fair, and it's tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. What it is, let's see. You can pre-register, and there are a lot of different job openings: social workers, physician assistants, sign language interpreters, campus security auditors, and some of the businesses that will be attending: New York State Department of Motor Vehicles, Pursuit, New York State Department of Civil Service, and Drive Right Academy, and a few more government agencies. So, Ms. Farah, do you have this email also?
I don't believe so. If you forward it to me, I can make sure that everyone in here gets it.
Yeah, I'm sending it to you right now. If you can share it with the members. And as I said, if you are not on our list, please drop your email in the chat so that Ms. Farah can add you to just this list to share all this information. And let's see, is there anything else? Oh, yes. So last meeting we had a Mr. Benson from Prep for Prep, which was a really great meeting, because we didn't know we had so many Prep for Prep alumni in on the call, and it was really great to hear from him. And he had sent us a communication letting us know about a special presentation that is being provided for Brooklyn families next month, and it's an information session on Thursday, November 20th at 6:30 p.m. at Berkeley Carroll School. And you can register for this event. I'm also going to forward this to Ms. Farah so she can share it out with you. If you have anyone that you know is interested, or learning more about Prep for Prep and what the program is about and how you can get your kids involved. And just, I would say, go listen here. It doesn't mean that you have to sign up for anything. Also, yes, there are the independent schools and stuff, but it's the information will provide and guide you and give you a more in-depth look at the possibilities of getting your children or child or grandchildren, whoever, into one of the independent schools. But they're really good programs. Okay. And I think that is my report. Are there any questions? Okay. Here none.
Wait, I'm sorry, Ms. Brandes, can you repeat that date on the Prep for Prep
It's
Brooklyn workshop again?
November 20th.
I'm sorry, November 20th, and the location, that's next week
It's Berkeley Carroll.
at Berkeley Carroll next week,
Yeah.
Thursday, right? November 20th. And the time again, I'm sorry, I missed the information.
The time is 6:30 p.m. Berkeley Carroll, 181 Lincoln Place. I should know this.
Yeah, it's Park Slope.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with Berkeley Carroll. That's
Miss,
where the I forgot his name. What's his name? Benson, Mr. Benson. That's where he went. He went to Berkeley
yeah,
Carroll.
he went to school there, which is really funny because my granddaughter goes there, and I'm like, oh,
Oh,
I've not set
excellent.
foot in that school as yet, but
Bad grandma.
she has parents. That's their job.
Good evening. I'm sorry for my tardiness. Terry Smith signing on.
Miss Smith?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry for the lateness.
That is perfectly fine. Good evening, Miss Smith. How are you?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. I'm well. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions from the report I just gave? I'm going to ask Chairperson Daly if there's any other information that needs to be shared that you have, can you please?
Yes, thank you for that, and thank you, Chairwoman Grandison. I got to start off by tooting your horn and tooting a number of our committee chairs' horn. We've been doing a yeoman's job in exposing the positivity of Community Board 17, and you're one of those persons on that. I am really thankful for you guys and a few of our committees. I mean, I don't even know what to say about how great you guys are doing, and hopefully this committee, which has perennially been one of the best committees at Community Board 17 from when we started way back in the early 2000s there, Gail, from Remsen Avenue all the way over there. And, when we were onto some stuff in the youth happening and the spelling bee and all the other things. So hopefully people, jump in, be part of subcommittees, ask to chair subcommittees and helping out. So I just wanted to first of all tell you thank you for that. Second thing that I want to make sure that I bring to your attention, I know that there's some people here who were members and now they're re-upping to become members. Based upon what has happened with quorum, we have changed standards on how to join a committee, meaning that there's some preliminary things. Ms. Farrer can go through that, or Ms. Chair Grandison can go through that as well. Either one of them can go over what the due policies are to ensure that quorum is not an issue, especially since committees but required to vote on issues that and planning plans of action they want to commit. And if we can't get quorum, it things need to move on to next month, to next month, to next month, and that slows down the process. So ADM Farrer can review that when Chair Grandison gives her a moment to review the policies on that. Next week, Wednesday, is our community board meeting. At that meeting, we'll have two presentations. One presentation will be on housing. So with the Assemblywoman, Assembly Member Monique Chandler Waterman, we have been working very diligently to provide more affordable housing to our district. And one of those areas that's coming in is it's called Utica Crescent. I didn't know of that either, but I'm learning it. It's called Utica Crescent, which is right behind Kingsbrook, right over there, Rutland Road, Utica Avenue, Rutland Road, that little hub right there. There will be about 250 apartments that will be coming to our area, and some of it are designated for affordable housing and true affordable housing. So if you know somebody who's looking for an apartment, it's a good opportunity. We are bringing them to the community board meeting next Wednesday at Downstate 395 Lenox Road, which is between New York and the next street. I don't know if the 34th or 35th, whatever that street is, in the auditorium. Please come by if you need to get the email, and it must be done in person, right? So You can't submit the application online. You must come out. Whoever you send an invite to should come out to the meeting, and which is also another issue. We're trying to do things to bring our community out. Our community does not show up to the community board meetings. The committee doesn't, your work does not just stop here. We appreciate it. We want you to continue working at it, but it helps to come out to the community board and voice your concern, let us know what's going on, and hear what the other committees are doing. And again, we're doing a yeoman's job in trying to get the community exposed. I know a lot of people suffer from the flooding that happened. We have some community cleanup, sanitation is a major issue. Safety is another issue. On those two notes, as a sidestep, we did lose a firefighter on Saturday. I just got the notice today when I was going through my email that he had been in a cardiac arrest while attending a situation on 9407 Kings Highway. That's over there by Somers Junior High School from people back in the days. I don't know the numbers, what the numbers are anymore. I think that was called 252 back in the days. Don't remember the number, but I think those are the numbers. After I asked my wife, I think that's where she went to school. So on that area over there, he was a 12-year veteran on the job, and he lost his life. And we also had a shooting also on the same day on Rockaway Church. Person ended up nothing. I don't want to say serious. I don't want to use the word serious, but I guess when used that word, I mean it's not fatal. That's what I mean by that. I mean, to get shot is traumatizing enough. And so those two incidents happened on that. So and the other the three things of importance. One, there's a lot of tragedies behind Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica and Haiti, and I believe one other country. I personally, I am told, and I do know one of them directly. I've lost 4 family members, and directly where it hit in St. Elizabeth, that's actually right where my family's from. And so the millions of dollars in property damage, plus the loss of life, which cannot be regained. We're doing a lot of things to try to help out those people, individuals in these countries. And I'm heavily focused on Jamaica, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland um, area, and we're doing collection of goods. If anybody have any donation of supplies, please do drop them off at the board office. You can drop them off at the Lucia House. Partnering with, I'm partnering with Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, former Ambassador Nick Perry, Assembly members Jamie Williams, Monique Chandler Waterman, City Council members Chris Bank, Mercedes Narcisse, and Farrah Lewis to provide relief for those people who have been traumatized by Hurricane Melissa. And so to send goods and products home. So please always drop your stuff off. And again, like I say, you could drop them off at the community board office at the Lucia House, which is on East 49 between Snyder and Church at Liberty Hall Church of God, under the leadership of Bishop Herbert Scott, and at God Squad at Reflection Reflection Church, which is, I believe the address is 1078 Utica Avenue. Liberty Hall is 1387 East 96. And the board office, I don't remember the Lucia House address, but it's right on East 49, closer to Church Avenue. You can't miss it. It's on the right side heading up, right after you pass Church Avenue, right there. So drop the stuff off for supplies and needs to the Caribbean. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I did Hurricane. Oh, the Shirley Chisholm Recreation Center hopefully will be was scheduled to open up now, but we're looking at the beginning of December for an open house for people to come and look at it. Once it does open, we will make sure that the committee is aware and knows what's going on. With that, they do have a CABA Community Advisory Board that is looking directly at it and to see what is going on and how it can be used. The last thing, well, two more things. One is
A
December
minute.
19th, we have the tree lighting ceremony at Patigate Park. That's a normal annual end of year thingamajig that we do at the board. You come out with the gifts for the kids, come out, have some cocoa, do the tree lighting, come to Patigate Park. Um, the email will be sent out and it's also on our website for our constituents, our individuals, and your friends to come out and enjoy that. The last thing is that, if you have something that you want the community to get involved in and be part of, feel free to invite me, feel free to invite a committee member, let the ADM know so they can go up on the website, things that are beneficial to our community. And as our motto is to move our community forward. So let's keep focused on that, moving our community forward. And again, thank you, Chair Grandison, for all the work. And thank you everyone in the Youth and Education Committee
Thank
for all
you.
the work that you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Daly. Thank you for that. Just to piggyback around that, the Parks and Beautification is the committee who's hosting the Christmas, I call it the Christmas party. So if you can please drop off a wrap toy at the board office. I have put myself in it to just help out this year. So if you have toys or can get some toys or just wrap a gift and drop it off, very much appreciated. If you want to take part, just come on down, help us wrap some gifts and stuff. Miss Burlock will let us know what the date is. They're usually like Santa's elves in there like a couple days before or the week before, just wrapping gifts and stuff like that. So your participation is very much welcome. So to moving ahead, tonight we have two presentations. We have one from our very own Miss Graham, who's going to talk about the importance of attendance and chronic absenteeism, which I think is very important. And we have Ryan from the Kings County Tennis League, which I think is really great because I love tennis. I used to play in my earlier days. So I'm going to ask Mr. Kawahara to give us 15 minutes to give us a preview of the program and how we as a committee can get it over the side. And, he wants to know how he can partner with us. So, Mr. Ryan, please take it away.
Thanks, Ms. Grandison. It's very nice to meet you all. It sounds like you guys do great work, and so really excited to meet you all. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. This will work. I haven't used WebEx before, so please bear with me.
Yeah, we're all in the same boat.
Okay, can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, great. So yeah, I'm with Kings County Tennis League. This is a little bit about us. We're a nonprofit that brings tennis and education to spark the potential of children living in and around Brooklyn Public Housing. I've been involved with the organization for about 5 years now. I joined when I moved here from California for college, and I've stuck around, and I've been a volunteer coach, and now I'm on the junior board, which means that I'm part of the committee that is trying to decide where we can bring our seventh site. We have 6 sites already in Brooklyn, and we're looking to bring our programs to another one. So this is kind of what we're looking for, and this is what I'm hoping to discuss with you all today. We're hoping to establish a 4-week pilot program in April to May, and I'll describe a little bit more about what this means in a minute. So a little bit about us. We have 893 enrolled students across Brooklyn. 93% of KCTI youth identify as people of color. 85% of KCTI youth come from households with low annual income, according to the New York City standard of that. And 46% of the players live in NYCHA, and we have a very close relationship with the NYCHA programs that we work with. Something that makes KCTL different from some of the other tennis programs in the city is that we bring tennis to our students. And so this is taken at the Marcy Playgrounds, where we take over every summer and we have a big tennis tournament too, actually. It's really awesome. So here's a little bit about our impact. We do 2,100 hours of programming. we have, so here's some statistics. I'm not going to go through all of them, but anyway, we've been able to make a really positive impact in these kids' lives, and we've also had volunteers come back year after year from around the community, around the city, and they've had a positive experience as well. So I'm just going to quickly run through some of our year-round programming because I know not everybody might not be super familiar with tennis, but Ms. Grandson, I'm glad you are. So this is our summer programs. It's kind of the centerpiece of our organization. We have 6 sites with Saturday morning classes for 14 to 16 weeks. 180 youth participate. I was the leader of the program going on at Sumner, and there's a small tennis court there, and so we did things like learning building motor skills, competition, stuff like that. They also got to go to the U.S. Open through the program because we're really closely partnered with the USTA, and so some of my kids came back and like better players, and I was like, oh, I've done my job as a coach, but it was really because they watched the pros at the U.S. Open, and so that was cool. We also have Family Day where we bring in people's families and people from the community, and there's also tournaments where the families get involved. There's food, and a lot of fun is had. In the fall, it's a little bit less. We have 3 sites going on, but it's still after school, and it's pretty similar stuff. And we also have a tournament in the fall as well. And yeah, in the winter, we have some smaller, fewer sites, but this is taken at Ingersoll. We do some indoor programming as well, and there's more field trips to companies and things like that. And yeah, I have a good time in the winter because I don't have to be outside in the freezing cold. And yeah, so it's not just on the court stuff. We also do stuff that is making our students well-rounded. So we have Go Girl Go, which is a really cool program for just girls, and they do all kinds of cool stuff. And we also have a youth employment program. And so when I was a coach at Sumner, I had 2 students who were alumni of the program who this was their first job. They got to work with us and coach kids in the community. It was awesome. And so this is kind of what we're looking to do next. We have 6 sites across Brooklyn, but we're looking to expand to a new one. And so we're trying to work with community boards like yourself from around Brooklyn to set up 4-week pilot programs. And so that'll be stuff like introducing kids who have never played tennis, and bringing our students from existing sites to tell other kids what it's about, stuff like that. And then after that, we're gonna my committee with KCTL will review which sites seem like a good fit and which and decide where to go. And then if all goes well in the summer, we'll have a new club to join us. So yeah, that's kind of my spiel. I guess a little bit more context about why we reached out to you is we looked at a lot of data from across different NYCHA projects, and we saw that Farragut, which is under the area that this board serves, has a very similar demographic in terms of population, size, and demographics. And so yeah, some questions we have for you is, how can we get involved with that organization there, and is that something you think that they would be interested in? And yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So I'm happy to answer any questions or open a discussion on this.
Oh, well, thank you, Ryan. Really interesting because we do have some tennis courts on, what is it, Tilden, and oh my goodness, is it Tilden or Beverly, Rudy? Rudy, are you there?
I'm here. What's
The
Tilden or
tennis
Beverly?
courts that we have are
Yes.
by the playground. It's Tilden and Beverly.
It's between Beverly and Tilden.
It's Tilden Playground, which is
Yeah.
the entrance
Between
is
East 48.
The entrance to the tennis court is East 49 between Tilden and Beverly. Or
Tilden and
closer to
Beverly.
Tilden.
Yeah. And I honestly have not seen anyone use them in quite a
They
while.
do
And
use them. They
Yeah.
use them during the summer.
during the summer, okay, because like
Yeah.
on Saturdays during the summer, I take my grandkids to the library and we will hang out by the playground, and they're usually empty. So yeah, I do like the idea of having, a tennis club. I don't know for sure if I haven't heard of any in the community. Correct me if anyone else knows whether or not there's one around here. But I mean, if we have the facility, I guess it's just a matter of figuring out how we can then create and form that club and working with partnership with you. So I think, Ryan, it's going to call for me having another a one-on-one meeting with you, just to, you know, get a bit more information and see who we may need to pull in into this from within the community, and, you know, if possible, how we can make it happen. I am always open for a good tennis club.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Any questions?
So within our community, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, can I have the floor for a
Yes,
moment?
go ahead, please.
So in our community, we the Tilden Playground is the only one that I can think of right off the top of my head. I know that we do have the Lincoln Terrace Park, which is the one block outside of the community, and we have the parade ground, which is a few blocks out of the community, and we have Marine Park. That's also a few blocks out of the community.
Yeah.
And then, but in our community, the only one that I believe is either, I think it's only one court actually as well, at Tilden Playground.
Yeah.
That they utilize, but generally kids go to, and then a few times over the summer, certain schoolyards like my 11 a few years back would open up their schoolyard for um for tennis. So some playgrounds to parks would utilize the playground as such.
Yeah. Nice.
Got it.
Any other
That's great to
questions?
know. Oh, I guess we'll just piggyback on that real quick. So even though we do have some tennis courts that are, almost all of our sites have tennis courts, but I'm trying to find a picture here. We do use just blacktops because we have smaller nets for the smaller children. And so any blacktop works for most of our programs. For the older kids that are really swinging and really playing matches, they use the real courts that we have. But yeah, it's definitely not a limiting factor always.
Nice. So, Ryan,
So I would,
go
Ryan,
ahead.
I would strongly suggest working with Chair Grandison, myself, and even Chair Graham, who's also on the call, was to partner with schools. If you can provide certain things, to partner with schools, because the playground on the one good thing that Bloomberg did was make the playgrounds to park philosophy for a lot of playgrounds. So they actually redid the playgrounds. So a lot of those playgrounds can be used for tennis courts. So partnering with schools would be very beneficial.
Yes.
We have Tilden High School that has it, that have an opportunity in my 11. We have even 198 right across from the board office there have a huge playground that they can use right across from Pattagate Park. So playgrounds to park would be very helpful if they're able to provide certain materials that the kids would need at any level, including pickleball. Please do not leave out pickleball.
Okay. All right, Ryan. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reach out to you after this call so we can set up a time to really have a conversation around this and see how we can move forward and who else we can get involved in creating this. Rudy, in the Shirley Chisholm, don't they have courts over there also? They're not going to be any kind of tennis courts or pickleball courts or anything like that?
I don't want to answer that off the top of my head because I don't remember all of the whole layout. I don't want to answer it.
Okay.
Remember the gym is multi-purpose, so
yes,
the recreation is multi-purpose.
Yeah. Someone was going to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to say something. I've had my hand up. Thank you. I was part of the District 45 Beautification Committee, and I was just wondering if our our community board actually has a parks committee or no?
Yes. We do.
Okay,
Verla is the committee chair.
The beautification committee District 45 would be very helpful as well.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let me write that. Yeah, I would love to pull Miss Burlock into this also. If any of you would love to be in on this conversation, I would love to see this as being a program at Shirley Chisholm Center as it's open. Don't know how that will work, but hey, anything is possible. So I'm gonna reach out to you, Ryan, after tomorrow and see if we can find some time on our calendars to talk more through this and what it means to set up a club and who needs to be involved and all the other logistical things that will have to come into play. Because I really like this, and I would love to see something like this for the summer in the community. So let's talk some more. Thank you so
That's
much.
great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ms.
Mr.
Robinson?
Kidd had his hand
Yes.
up.
Yes, my
Okay,
hands
so
have been up.
okay, I can't see hands. I am so sorry. I
Oh,
don't know
okay.
why. So if you got, I'm just giving you guys free will. If you got something to say, just let me know because I
Oh,
can't
okay.
see anything.
Yes,
I
guys.
wanted to find out the age. What's the age? The age group, you know? I don't think she's
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, that's a very important point. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention
the
that.
age. Yeah, the age. I didn't see,
It's
you know, the
yeah,
age.
that's my bad. It's ages 5 to 18.
Oh, great. Okay, good.
Ooh,
Good
nice.
to know.
Mr. Tate?
Yes, actually, I'm glad that I forgot who was the one who mentioned the Park and Beautification Committee, because I had my hands raised to
Yes.
mention that we need I am part of the Park and Beautification Committee, and we've been fighting to get we had to fight to get the tennis court at Tilden Park open. It was closed for a while. And we have members who take their kids to Lincoln Terrace Park because we don't have anything in the community. So I'm sure they will be more than happy to participate in that. This I am going to reach out to them because I don't want to give out their name. I could tell you because it's open. It's Ricky Da Costa and Brida Costa were
Okay.
part. They've been fighting to get tennis in this area. So definitely, please bring in the Park and Beautification Committee.
Yes.
These are other people who I'm sure would participate in this.
And
Awesome.
also, Jorge, District 45, going directly to District 45 office is very important because our community board, maybe we can get other community, if there's another community board that shares this area under District 45, to go to the district to also advocate for those to be opened. That's why I mentioned
Yes.
District.
When you say this is 45, just to be clear, are you talking about council member for Lewis office district? The Consumatic
Yes.
district? Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
our district. It was formerly you hear me, Giuliani? No, Giamani. Yes, now it's
Yes, it's Farrell Lewis,
yes.
yes.
Yes,
office.
Mr. I kind of
Yeah.
figured that's who you meant when you said District 45. Okay, so we will work on this. I love the enthusiasm around this. So Ryan, we will contact you. Thank
Thank
you
you so much. And thank
for
you all for your time. I put our organization's website in the chat, and I'll drop my email as well. So if anybody has any questions or wants to play tennis, let us know. And thank you all.
will do. Thank you so much. Okay. Miss Graham, are you ready? Okay, I am going to let me just share my screen. And so our next presentation is by our one and only Miss Graham. It's going to be on attendance and chronic absenteeism. One of one, I should say, my favorite subjects or things to really talk about. So why is it not letting me do okay. All right. Let me do this again. Presenters let me share the screen. You know, when you want things to work, they don't. Didn't we have this earlier, Miss Graham?
Yes.
It worked so well, and now, and now it won. I can't. Let me see. I want to get it into the presenter's view. Let's do entire screen. Nope, 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 no. Window. The tab. Share. Okay. All right, here we go. Take it away, Miss Graham.
Right. All right. All right. Good night, everyone. Hello? They can hear me? You could hear me, Miss
Yeah, they can
Gratitude?
hear
Yeah, I
Oh,
can
okay.
hear you.
you.
All
Please go
right.
ahead.
So good evening, everyone. So I am so honored to join tonight and really speak about attendance because that's what I do every day at the district office. We have 33 schools and I am the attendance coordinator for the schools in Community School District 17. And of course, I know the purpose of attendance and all of that, but when I got into the role, it was really eye opener because attendance is just as important as ELA, mathematics, science, social studies, and all of that. So I'm just here to share. Of course, we're not going to get it all done in one night, but I'm going to try my best to talk about why attendance is so important and why we do not want our children, our scholars, to become chronically absent. All right, so yes. So I just want to talk about why attendance is so important because like I said, it's just as math, ELA, because if we don't have scholars in school, it doesn't matter what kind of programs we have. It doesn't matter what we're doing. We need those students to be in school every day. Yes. So consistent attendance, it ensures that continuous learning and better academic performance by keeping students on track. Because when students are not in school every day, it's really a hardship, not just on them, it's a hardship on the teacher, because that teacher has to go back and teach what was taught when Johnny was out for 2 days. So now Johnny was out for 2 days. Now Johnny's back and Johnny's behind. And we all know that we don't have to be in schools to know that when we teaching is built on what happened yesterday, today, and the next day. So when a child is out for 2 days, or God forbid 3 days, it's really a setback for that student. It's a setback for the class because sometimes the teacher knows that she cannot leave the other kids behind. So the teacher has to find a way to give those scholars some work, quiet work to do and get to those kids, pull them in a small group and work on the things that they're missing. All right. So, and when kids are consistently in school, their chances of academic achievement is so much greater. It is so much better. And it helps them to socialize when they're in school. You're out for 2 days, you come back, or you take a long extended vacation and you come back. And it takes a while for some students to kind of get back into the groove of things and, go back to starting talking back to their friends and doing all of that. So it seemed like it's not a big deal, but guys, it's really a big deal because it sets the students back. And it's not every student is a stellar scholar who is able to come back and jump right in and get things done. You have students who can do that, but for the majority of the students, they are not able to do that. All right. We talk about their emotional well-being because we want to make sure that students feel a part of the whole. So when you're out and you jump back in, it's hard to really get back in the swing of things. We want children to really know that they have a voice and they have a seat at the table and their voice matters and even their presence matter. So their social emotional well-being is to be considered, not just their attendance, but how they're making do when they come back when they've been out for a while. All right. So we want to understand that attendance importance is community stakeholders in promoting supportive policies for student engagement. Because when we understand the importance of attendance, not just for the children, not just for the families, not just for the educators, but for community stakeholders, then we will do a better job ensuring that students are in school all the time. I know sometimes students might get sick, and that is, we have no control. But I'm here to tell, if there are any families on the line, on this call, that if your child is in school for 1 hour for the day, let's say parent has an appointment at 2 o'clock, so your child is able to come in from 10 to 12, 10 to 11. If a child is in school for 1 hour for the day, that child is present. I know a lot of times schools don't want to tell that to families, but I'm here to share that information today, that if you have a morning appointment and you bring your child from 12 to 1, then that child is present for the entire day. In every school, we have attendance teams, and this is across the city. So I know it's the same for 18, it's the same for 23, and every district. We have attendance teams, we have administrators on the team, the social worker is on the team, the guidance counselor is on the team. So these are the folks who take care of the welfare of children. We have attendance teachers. In my district, we have 5 attendance teachers that are responsible for the 33 schools. And we have to do home visits. I do home visits myself. I'm sure Mr. Daly was an assistant principal. We do home visits. When we want to check on the welfare of a student, we got to go out. They're not here for 3 days. We got to check them out and see what's going on. So I'm just here to let you know that in every building, there's attendance teachers, and all of that happens when students are not in school. So we want to talk a little about chronic absenteeism. If a student is out 2 days a month, just 2 days, 2 little days, 1 and 2, that student is going to be chronically absent for the entire year. Just 2 days. And when you become chronically absent, that is your designation. It cannot change. It's not like, oh, well, I'm going to try to come for the entire month of June. But in the meanwhile, I took 2 days every month already. And that cannot change. And that child is chronically absent for the year. So it behooves us as educators, community stakeholders, parents, to just help students to understand that every day counts and every day matters. So they can't just haphazardly jump out today, I'm not coming today. And sometimes, to be honest with you, we have to blame some of the families. They take their children on extended vacation all over the place. And then they bring them back a week later, sometimes 2 weeks later. And then when they hear that the child, they might not make it to the next grade, that's when everything gets crazy now. Like, they don't understand what's going on. So I'm just asking for, of course, this is the education committee. So help to just spread that word that attendance matters. Children need to be in school every day. It helps them academically. And that is what we really want for our children to. We want to raise the bar. Like for example, in my district, we started real strong this year. We have been trending at 91% attendance, and that is a big deal. Collectively, we're trending. Of course, we have schools that need to do better, but everybody just has to take a role and be a part of it, because it's not a solo sport. It is really a collective responsibility. And I would urge some of you to be success mentors in your school. The success mentor is someone who would take on a chronically absent student, or a student who's potentially going to be chronically absent, and give them a wake-up call, or maybe you check on them when they come to school during the day and say, how you doing? Like sometimes folks would say to kids, oh my God, look what the wind blew in today. Because students, when they're not in school and they come back, we got to welcome them. We got to welcome them, make them feel like, oh, we missed you. We're glad to see you back. So it's a lot that goes on in a school with attendance. But anybody could be a success mentor. It could be the bus driver. It could be the school safety agent, the person in the kitchen, the custodian, the secretary, just to help that child to really get to school, not every day, but most of the days. So their attendance, because it matters, because what happens when a school loses children, then guess what? We lose staff. We lose programs, we lose funding. So it really matters. By itself, it doesn't seem that way, but attendance is so closely, it's like a marriage with academic achievement. When you're in school every day, you're going to do well. You're forced to do well when you're in school every day. But if you're absent every now and again, every week, or take a couple of days, you're not going to cut it. All right, so we want to concentrate and focus on early intervention. That means as soon as a child is out, we make that phone call, we do that home visit, we put it in ATS. There's a system where you got to go in and you got to iLog. I spoke to Johnny's mom. Johnny's mom said he traveled to Trinidad. Whatever they say, we got to put that online because there are other agencies, city agencies that are who have access to these things. So when something happens to a child turn up missing, then guess what? Those agencies are going to say, let's see what you have on this student. This student been out for 8 days. What you have on this child? Do you have anything in iLog? Do you have any record of you communicating with families? What do you have? So that attendance piece really matters. And the last thing you want is something to happen to a student that then you have nothing. You have nothing to say that I communicated with the family. All right. We want to just jump a little bit on the barriers to attendance. The barriers are very different from school to school, from family to family. Some people, they have illness. Some students get very, very ill. You have some kids got to take their siblings to school and then get to their school. So that is a little problem sometimes because they get there late. Sometimes they got to stay home. Some siblings got to stay home and take care of the younger kids. So they can't make it to school. Transportation, which has become a real city crisis. And now we have immigration. Big deal. We have not seen some students since we came back in our district. And it's the same across the city in a lot of districts because they're hiding out. They don't want to come out. And it's become a real challenge. So now we're trying to fight with the system that we have a code or something. Once we know the child is safe, somebody laid eyes on them, they went to their home, they see them, we could see if we could get a code to put in so we kind of not make them have to be marked absent all these days. We're working with some homes to give them work through the internet and all of that. We're trying to do everything because when schools lose students and they lose money, they might lose a teacher, lose a position in a school. So I mean, we're just trying our best to see. And I'm not speaking for myself because we do have attendance meeting at Central where every district is represented, and that is the crisis. And I mean, you just each one tell one and each one help one because again, it is a collective responsibility. So these are some of the barriers. So it's different, and like I said, for every student. Some students are disengaged. They're bored, so they don't want to be in school. The teacher might say something to them and they don't feel welcome, and then I don't want to come back because the climate in a school too has a lot to do with attendance. If students don't feel welcome, they're not going to show up. They're not going to want to show up. If they don't feel like their voice matter, or if they don't feel like they count, I'm a valuable part of this community, that might deter them from wanting to come to school, and we don't want. All right, so those are some of the barriers. And it's a lot, but I know Ms. Brandy will share this PowerPoint. And there is when we look at the students' attendance rate, when you're into the work and very intentional about the work, you look at a student's attendance and right away you could know that, oh my God, this is a potential chronically absent student. What are we going to do? Are we going to get a success mentor for this child? Are we going to do a home visit? What are we going to do? Are we going to have a little conference with mommy and daddy? Or are we going to have, and many of our students in District 17, they come from the shelter. So now we have to engage the STH coordinator. We have to engage sometimes the foster home people. We have to engage ACS because these students, they come with a lot of stuff. So even getting to school, it's a big production. We have 2 of our schools where the students are traveling from the Bronx to Brooklyn. So every evening, Principal X will make sure that for students who are going back to the Bronx, they have an extra meal, because sometimes, guys, the only meal they have sometimes is what they eat in school. So it's a lot. When the government looks at attendance, they look at numbers and data, but they don't see that Principal X is doing this. Principal X is walking to homes in the morning, like a walk-in school bus to pick up students just to make sure they don't lose their school. You know, they lose funding. They can't hire this teacher now. They can't. So they make sure they do a lot of things. And the success mentors are so critical. And it's just a concerned person who wants to help a student. And like I said, it could be anybody. So even people on this call, if you have your students, your children in school, you could ask about being a success mentor, not to your child, but to somebody else. All right. So And the impact on student outcomes, of course, if you're not in school regularly, you don't do well most of the time academically. All right. And your socialization skills, they kind of, sometimes they lose them because they're away, then they come back, and it takes them a while to get back into the swing of things. And little kids, oh, they're your friend today, they're not your friend tomorrow, and it's a lot. And so, we know that children are very concerned about their friends more than they're concerned about school. My friend is not talking to me and all of that. So it's really a whole lot. And we do a lot of interventions, and it's different for every student. If it's busing, then we got to work on something. We got to work on getting a parent. If they live in the same building, can you bond with this parent so they could walk the child to school? Of course, they got to have that relationship and know that person and take my child to school. So we call it a walking school bus. When you go and you pick up this one, you drop them off. That's how we do it in our district. All right. So we want to talk about but in 1 in every 6 students nationwide is chronically absent. It's a big crisis, guys. It's not a district crisis. It's a city crisis. And it seems like it's a nationwide crisis. And it's not specific to any school, any district. It just happens all over. And there's a lot of literature about chronic absenteeism now. I notice even the mayor-elect, he speaks about absenteeism because I guess he's finding out that there is a crisis. And in elementary, we see it more because students have to be walked to school by their parents. And honestly, sometimes parents feel like, oh my God, I don't want to go out this morning. I'm going to just lie down. The kids can't come. Because if mommy's not coming out, the kids can't come. The middle school and the high school, it's a little bit different for them because they could, pack their bags and do all of that and walk to school. The little ones can't do it. Another thing is that in like pre-K, 3K, when one student gets sick, forget it. The whole class is sick now. One have a little sniffle and everybody's sick. So it's a lot that goes on. And that's, like I said, when I got to the work, that's when I realized that it's more than just, it is much, much more just marking your register. Sometimes we have teachers who would call names of students. They're not looking up to see if the child is there, but they say, all right, Rose Graham, present. And guess what? She's not even here. And God forbid something happened to this child. The child got hit in the street. And you have them present when they're not here. So it's really a lot that goes into attendance. It's a whole lot and more. And I see it's 8:47. So again, and we have also in my district, we have had 1-pagers to help parents if you're a pre-K student, kindergarten, like set the alarm, get everything ready the night before and all of that. If it's a middle school, then of course it's a little different. If it's elementary, it's a little different, but we try to do what we can. If for my attendance teachers and myself, we go to PTA meetings, we go to parent coordinator meetings, and the messaging is the same. When we have the principals meeting, we give it to the principals, we give it to the APs, and the message is the same so that eventually it is collective. And the more you say it and the more you do it, it gets better. Because like I said, last year we did not do so well. And this year we've been really trending at 91. Every month I would do a spotlight and with the schools that are doing well, 90% and above. And and every week I would let them know how we're trending across New York City, how we're doing, and it kind of motivates the folks who are not doing so well. They want to be a part of that. So on the students too in the schools, they have Taco Tuesday, they have McDonald's Monday. So the schools, based on their funding, if they have a good CBO, then they could do this consistently. Sometimes they can't, but they try their best to not just highlight the students who are 100% attendance, but the ones who are improving. Because if you were 80% and this week you're 83, just for those 3 points, that 3 percentage points, we want to celebrate those kids and keep them in. So it's a lot. And before I was a assistant principal in one school, and now I have 32 schools, and it's been a challenge, but it has been a joy. And like I said, I did not know that attendance was so critical, and it was it's a priority. So that's kind of about all that I gotta say. And we just gotta stay on it. We really have to stay on it, because if we don't have students in schools, then it doesn't matter what programs we have and all this New York City reads and solve and all of that. Students need to be in school and be engaged. So again, it's a shared responsibility, and it's all of us. It's every last one of us. We have a family member, we have a niece, a cousin, something. And I would encourage people to get on their school SLT if you can, because sometimes sometimes one voice can change the whole dynamics. So Ms. Grandison and the Youth and Education Committee, I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to do my presentation tonight and share a part of my world, what I do every day.
You are so welcome. I am so happy to see we've had that chronic absenteeism talk. You know, I worked on this initiative when Mayor de Blasio first came into office. It was the AIDP,
Yes.
attendance improvement and dropout prevention. And, you know, it was between DOE and United Way, but I worked really well with United Way around this. They were the fiduciary partners in this, and my organization did a lot of the facilitation and stuff. And I would say it's really interested to see how far this has come in terms of chronic absenteeism. And you know, I think they're still doing it, but the AIDP program, it was a grant that was given to the
Yes, it was.
schools and stuff. The pilot program started with the 45 schools, because this was the predecessor to community schools. This is then how all the community school stuff then started to come in. Which started with those 45 schools, and you know, schools would get grants to, you know, get resources, counselors, and mentoring and
Yes. So
stuff like that.
last week we got a grant. It's not a lot, but it's to accommodate attendance teachers so they could do work on the weekend. If you have a parent that you can't catch up, sometimes they're very innovative, because sometimes they catch them on Facebook. That's how they catch some of these parents, on Facebook, on TikTok, and all of that. So they have put some funding in where they can go do that work on a Saturday and a Sunday.
You know,
Because sometimes that's how you catch the parents.
you know,
Yes.
Miss Chair Grandison and Chair Graham, both of you brought up two important points that I think a lot of parents sometimes when it comes to attendance, they see the glaring ones, but they don't see the simple ones, like taking your kid. You have a sickly child who's a good kid, but the child is sickly, right?
Yes.
And you want to take them on a family vacation for 2 weeks, and you know over the last few years, they've been absent from school 5 or 6, and sometimes even more because of the illness. And then you feel guilty as a parent that you want to take them on a vacation, and you have to remind that. And so you take them out of school for a week or 2 weeks.
Yes.
I don't know how many teachers we have in this group, and I'm suspecting, like, because youth and education, we have a lot of people in education. But what you find and you see when those kids come to the classroom, no matter if they were performing at 90 or 95 level in that classroom, missing 2 days of work, they're withdrawn in the classroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
They become withdrawn in the classroom, and that section of the test that they will take, their grade point average is going to lessen.
Yes.
No matter what, because the average child does not go back and say, hey, professor, hey, teacher, hey, Mr. So-and-so, Miss So-and-so, what did I miss? Let me learn it on my own. Let me do independent learning. And for some of those reasons that you mentioned, some of the kids can't even afford to even go after school, to come after school and get additional help.
Yeah.
Neither can the teachers stay after school. So the issue of attendance, I would say they said 4th grade grades predict whether or not you're going to be a dropout or unsuccessful.
Yes,
But I would say
how many J's they should make.
Right.
But the attendance is the number one factor. And again, people see the glaring. You're living in a shelter. You're couch parent. They see those glaring ones, but they don't see the little ones and the long-term effect. And the last thing that I want to add to it is ask your child parents, who is your crutch in the building? Who's the person that you can speak
You
to?
can go to, yes.
Right? Every child has one, even if it's a person that's there
Yeah.
just for that one day. Every child in every building has one, and so talk to them, exchange numbers, whatever the case is within reason, obviously, still being a parent. So those things are so paramount to the success of especially our Black and brown boys and girls, but primarily boys, so much more than girls in this situation, because boys are quicker to drop out than girls.
Yeah. I just want to touch on something that Mr. Daly said and Ms. Graham in regards to the data around all of this is that, yes, when they look at kids in our community, this is how they determine, from that school data, whether or not how many prisons they need to build or detention center. These things comes in to play because it's easy to look at the data and say, okay, that community, they have 500 kids in that school. 30% of those kids are chronically absent, probably can't read at third grade, probably can't read at first grade. They look at these things, right? They look at these things and they determine what they're going to plan in our community, what they need to design. And these designs are not positive designs for us, right? The thing is with chronic absenteeism, when this first started back in 2014, there was the hard line of trying to determine whether truancy was really chronic absenteeism, because they were just looking at the fact of the elementary grades, as Ms. Graham noted, because those kids had to be taken to school, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds. I mean, there might be some parents that letting these kids walk by themselves, but there was a subset of the age group that was noted of why they were so chronically absent. And as they noted, and let me tell you, what they said is true. There are folks who take their kids on vacation and take them out, especially if they're in first grade, and the mentality is, oh, they're not going to miss anything. They're young. And I'm like, I would love parents to stop with that thinking that your child is young and, oh, they're not going to miss anything. Even in kindergarten, even, no, these are the stepping stones and ages where your kids develop so much and so fast. And when you take them away from that learning table and, okay, you want to go away, but hey, if vacation is 2 weeks out and you decide you want to have a 4-week vacation for whatever reason, you are not doing that child justice. And I need parents to understand that you are not doing that child justice. I don't care how young that child is. It's vitally important for that child to be in the room.
Okay, may I?
But right, I just want to add one thing. Those same kids who are absent frequently in school throughout the years, they also become poor employees as well, right? Because it becomes a lifelong reflection of how you treat
Yes.
your work. They don't show up to work. They're always late. They don't, that is a lifetime reflection, and it goes. So some of the trend has to stop. And I know somebody was going to speak, and so I
Miss
know I
Millen,
interrupted a person.
Ms.
Miss
McCain Brown.
Mitchell,
Ms.
Miss
McCain
McKay.
Brown wanted to say something.
All right.
I had my hand up. I'm like, Mr. Tate, my hand is been up.
Go ahead.
Okay,
I'm not gonna be
Sarah, can you help me
long.
with the hands up, please? I can't see anything from my screen.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to be long. I just wanted to thank Ms. Graham for the report that she gave and in her role as attendance director. And I just wanted to say what she mentioned about teachers and not even looking up to see if the child was in that seat or present is very important. Because as a teacher, way back when I taught summer high school, there was a kid who had committed a crime on the street.
Oh, wow.
And the principal and the police came to check if that child was in my class. And the
Wow.
child had not been there. And that was validation. They were double checking to see if that was the child. And as an administrator, I've always told teachers attendance is very, very important. Make sure that child is seated. Make sure you know who that child is, whether it's by seating, whatever strategy you want to use, because attendance, besides the academic piece, it's very important. If a child is outside, not in your room, and something happens to that child on the street. So I thank you, Ms. Graham, especially for mentioning that. And I think that's something that teachers should constantly be reminded of. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Miko?
Yes, I do support everything that Ms. Graham said. But in these times, are we ignoring, are we forgetting what's happening in America now with the ICE people? How many parents now are afraid of what's going to happen? Have we tried?
I didn't make mention of that. That it's become a big,
That's a
big,
big issue. That can cause non-attendance because parents
Yes.
are afraid. So what we now should try to find a way where we can communicate with them or tell them what we are doing to protect their children in case ICE turns up. So we can't
Thank
ignore
you.
that.
Yes. Thank you.
Well,
What they
Ms.
have
Ms.
now,
McCain, just real fast, I know that we have guidance from Central and guidance as well from our council, DOE, and she's saying that you cannot get in the way. You just have to give them resources, tell them where they can find attorneys. But for us to be, like, you can't prevent them from taking the child and all of that. It's a whole new thing. They
Yeah.
don't want us being any lawyers. They say you're not attorney, you're not none of those things. You just give them resources, then it's out of your hands.
yeah, that
But
Ms.
Well,
are
at
they
least you're
allowed
giving
to enter
resources.
schools?
I'm sorry?
Are they allowed to, ICE is allowed to enter the
No, they're
schools?
not. Well,
No,
so far in
No.
New York City
Without
schools, we have
a
not
warrant.
had any.
Without, okay.
all the schools now have, you must bus to get in to all the schools that I've been going, and I've been retired, but all the schools I've been going to, they now have, you must bus to
You
get
have
in.
to buzz in.
Yes, you
Okay.
cannot, and it's because of that also,
Right.
they can't get in like that.
And then
Okay.
school safety, you'll have to tell school safety why you're there before you could
Yes.
even speak to anybody. So they try.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other comments from anyone else? I can't see hands, so
Yes, from Edith Mark.
yes, Ms.
Yeah, I just want to thank Ms. Graham for a wonderful, great presentation. Not only did you discuss about the data, the importance of school attendance, but you also spoke about the human side of how some of the teachers, they get involved. But the example of the kids traveling from Brooklyn to the Bronx and how one of the principal, packed the extra lunch. And
Yes.
I mean, I think that is so important that we're still human. And, when you working in the school environment, a child, a teacher, those are your kids as well. And I think it's just amazing work that you guys are doing. Please keep it up. I wish you can continue and spread. I mean, go all over and talk about what exactly your department is doing, because it's amazing. And there's a lot of things that I learned just listening to this presentation. Thank you again. It was a great presentation. And even me, I have a kid in high school. I'm going to be looking at him in a different way too. Like, no, you better get your butt up to school. We got some data. We need money, Gotta keep these teachers working. So thank you
Yes.
again. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes,
Hi,
hi.
can you hear?
Kamara,
Terry
go ahead.
Smith. I just want to say thank you so much for that presentation and all what you're doing with our children of New York City. It is so important that we make sure that they're okay, because in today's world and right now there is so much going on with our young people, and So they need to know that someone cares. We need to know that no child should go hungry, no child should go without food. So I thank you. I thank you for this presentation. It was so wonderful. Thank you for
Oh,
sharing. And I appreciate you the work that you do. Thank you again.
oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. We're gonna have Kamara and then Miss Brenda.
Hi,
Kamara.
hi everyone. Again, I am so thankful for the presentation we had, Ms. Graham. Thank you so much for talking about the subject. This is very important. I mentioned this in the chat, but I was definitely wanting to know if there's a resource in terms of the trend of increasing absenteeism and lateness, if there's a publicly available way in order to track those trends. And the reason why I call this out is because when we do our interventions in terms of gaining more mentors and gaining more access in terms of talking with principals, with teachers, and intervening where possible, I want us as a community board and as a community in general to say the impact of the work we did, how it affected the absenteeism in terms of decreasing those trends, especially for our community in comparison to other rates in other community boards and other communities. So I think it's important for us not only to have these anecdotes of these stories about how things are going, but also in terms of making sure when we have that wonderful conclusion of all the things we're going to do to make this community and the education better, we can tell that story not only with these stories, but also with the data in terms of how we, instead of it increasing on the board, it decreases because of the fact we got involved. So that's what I was asking
Absolutely.
for.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Kamara, to your question, yes. So each year there's the school reports that gives, a snapshot of, the attendance, ESL, and the different data points, math and stuff like that. You can go in to see it, and
It's public.
by school. Is it the school quality reports or?
Yes, the school quality report.
Yeah. What I can do, because I know that school that is, what is it, 45th Street? Um, yes, 45th and Glenwood, the school that is around there. I earlier this year I was taking a look at that in terms of they have a very high student in temporary housing population and very high chronic absenteeism rate also. So that's one point. That's one area there that I know for sure. But I would love, if I have the time, to pull the data about our schools, and I'll see if I can do it for our next meeting, that we can talk maybe some more about this with Miss Graham.
Yes, I
But
could share it. I could pull mine too because it doesn't have students' names, just the data.
right, it just has the data, no student's
Yes.
name or anything
And
with that. Yes.
it breaks it down in students in temporary housing, ENL students, students with an IEP, all of that. So you get to really
All of
see.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
what we're doing. Miss Brenda?
Yes, good evening, everybody. I appreciate the presentation. I apologize, I came in a little bit late, but I'm happy I caught it. My name is Brenda Jean. I'm also executive secretary for Youth Action Services. So our goal is actually to assist family and children who are currently in shelters in New York City, particularly Brooklyn right now. So we work with a shelter that's a DV shelter, and so we do see that, unfortunately, because of what's going on internally within the child's family, they might miss school. The parent unfortunately have issues, or they're preparing to move out of the location. So then the attendance is poor. But I feel like this community, our district has changed a lot over the years. So there are new shelters around this area. So I think that factors into the absentee rate heavily. I will say we might have I don't know the plan of action for the future and how to regulate this and how to better support the families that are currently in shelter or currently just facing immigration situations at this moment, and might not want to bring their child to school because they're scared something might happen to them.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Miss John. Anyone else? Any other comments before I? So, Miss Graham, thank you. Thank you
Oh, my
so much.
pleasure.
I think there should be a part 2 to this. If I can get the data
Yes, I'll
together,
get some data
um,
too for next time. Just maybe a
yeah,
little
to
15
pull
minutes
it,
just to.
yeah, to just let's do a part 2 with this and the part 2 would be looking at the schools in our community, in this surrounding district. Because I know that if we do school districts, we have 17, 22, 21. There's a good few of them, and they're not in this immediately community board 17, right? There are some are external, so maybe we'll just look at the schools within community board 17, and look at elementary, middle, and high, and we just have a discussion around what those attendance rates look like.
Thank you.
So thank you, Miss Graham. This was really
Oh,
great.
for sure.
Really, really
My
great.
pleasure.
And I appreciate you doing this. So we have to approve the minutes, but I am going to table this. I need to confer with Miss Farah around the list that I have to see if we have the correct amount of people that is listed in here, if they're members, before we do this. And we will approve the minutes at the December meeting. It just, I think it's a bit off of what we have. We need to do some removals and get the true number. And this is why quorum is so important, and folks show up. So I want to wish each and every one of you a happy, peaceful, enjoyable Thanksgiving with your families. If you're flying, please be safe. Any travels, please be safe. Enjoy your day or days or that long weekend. And I will see you in December for our next meeting before the holidays again. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'm sorry, excuse me. I just have one announcement for
Yes,
everyone.
ma'am.
My church, the City of Grace, we have a pantry, and we're open every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and we give out food every week, but we'll be making special Thanksgiving bags on the 25th. So please, 3402 Tilden Avenue, East 34th Street. If you know anyone that's dealing with food insecurity that need food, please send them our way every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And that's 3402 Tilden Avenue, East 34th Street, the City of Grace.
The City of
Thank
Grace.
you.
Thank
The
you
City of
so
Grace.
much. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
We have a food pantry. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Can I get a motion to? Yes, Mr. Tate.
No, I was just going to ask the person who mentioned about the food pantry if they need volunteers. Because I do a volunteer with a couple of food pantries, and on Tuesdays I wouldn't mind helping out if they need it.
Okay, so the best time to come by to see me would be on a Monday after 11 a.m. Minister Terry Smith, that's who you can ask for at the door, and
Yes.
we can sit down and talk, okay?
Okay, yeah, it won't be this Monday because I'm on jury duty, and
No, understandable.
yeah, so hopefully by the 19th we'll be through with that.
Sure.
Okay. But
All right.
definitely I wouldn't mind helping out because I'm
Well,
in the
thank
neighborhood.
you.
You're
Okay,
welcome. I'm
wonderful.
sorry.
God bless you.
What's the name again? Terry?
Minister Terry Smith. Just yeah. You can
Yeah,
come to
thank you
the
very
address
much.
and ask them. Everyone knows
Yeah,
me.
I know the location, but okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
I love how you guys just align with each other. It's just so rewarding. Any others before I ask for a motion to close the meeting? It's now 9:14. Okay, can I get a motion to end the Youth and Committee meeting? So
George
nobody.
State make a motion to adjourn the Youth and Education meeting at 9:15 p.m.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Kamar Swaby seconds that motion.
Thank you to each and every one of you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. God bless.